Council and the Mayor's office. So to that end, I want to introduce this year's City Council candidates who are seated in alphabetical order and staggered next to us, as we typically do in our forums. We're going to start closest here to me with incumbent Clifford Barnett, Chikima Clinton Quintana, Richard Collier, J.C. Lyle, Kelly Roberts Jr., Cassidy Santaguida, and incumbent Luke Waddell. Sean Guerrero is also running in this race, but he couldn't come because of a last-minute conflict. So to kick us off, and I'm going to start with Clifford Barnett, just give us an intro about why you are running.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to be here. I'm Clifford Barnett, and I'm running for City Council, and because there are a number of things that we've done that we still need to complete. I've been serving on the City Council for the last 8 years. It's been my pleasure. I'm a servant. I love to serve. I love to help people. I'm interested in making sure that Wilmington becomes the best place for all of us to live, a place where we can thrive, a place where our kids can grow up, a place where folks who work here can also live here. I've been serving, as I mentioned, for the last 8 years. I've had the privilege of the last 2 years of serving as the Mayor Pro Tem. I was elected unanimously by my colleagues to serve in that position. I'm married. I've been pastoring for 46 years. I'm married to a Baptist preacher's daughter for 36 years. And we have 3 awesome kids and 2 fantastic daughters-in-laws. Thank you.
Chikima.
Good morning. My name is Chikima Clinton Quintana. I am running for Wilmington City Council because I love Wilmington. I love the potential that it has, that it can become when we all work together. And I'm passionate about the people in Wilmington. I am married with 4 adult children, 4 grandchildren whom I love dearly and will spoil and give back to their parents immediately. I was recruited here by Live Oak Bank. I've been here for 6 years. And I run and lead a channel powered by Live Oak Bank, which is an initiative designed to help small businesses start, grow, and thrive in the city of Wilmington, because small businesses are the backbone of our city. And to bring a little flavor to the Wilmington City Council, I'm the new ice cream flavor of the year. So.
Richard.
Good morning. I'm Richard Collier. I'm running for Wilmington City Council. I'm not a career politician. I'm a civil engineer, and that's the way my mind works. I work in a mindset of solution-oriented problems. I think Wilmington's at a crossroads right now, and that crossroads is growth is here, and we need to learn if it's going to be we manage it or it manages us. So I want to make sure that we are managing our growth responsibly. We have smarter planning, we have better infrastructure, and we have accountability for all the things that we do on the City Council. I am married. I've been here for 30 years. I have 2 adult kids, 2 small grandchildren, and I love the city of Wilmington. I want to keep it the place that it is today so that my grandkids grow up in the same orientation that my kids did here in this town. Again, I'm Richard Collier, and I'm running for Wilmington City Council. Thank you.
JC.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to our hosts and to our sponsors. I'm J.C. Lyle. This is actually my 2nd time serving on a Power Breakfast panel. After Hurricane Florence, I represented the nonprofit sector as CEO of Warm and Seed. Along with many of you, we built coalitions that helped our entire region recover from disaster. That time illustrates the person I am as a leader. I make things happen. I'm practical, solution-oriented, and fiercely committed to getting the best for our community. I have a background in land use planning, affordable housing, financial analysis, and I got my MBA right here at UNCW. Who else? Seahawks. And between my career and my appointed positions, I have shown common sense leadership. I've helped develop policies that
Thank you, JC.
We're gonna help develop great policies that fund responsible growth, and that's where we need to go. Thank you.
And Kelly.
Kelly. Everybody, Kelly Roberts, Navy veteran, cybersecurity engineer. I'm a father. My security clearance took me to Washington, D.C. after the Navy. I've worked for most of the three-letter agencies in cybersecurity, FBI, DEA, DOD, and the NSA. As I started traveling to Wilmington, I immediately fell in love with the city, like most people do. Moved here about 4 years ago, and I kind of noticed a trend where crime was getting bad downtown. So I kind of had two options. I could put on a Batman suit and go downtown and try to figure it out, which would not go well for me, trust me. So I decided I was going to go ahead and run for city council. What my plan is to do this for my small business friends. You can't go downtown without seeing my sign in almost every window. I'm doing this for public safety and for small businesses, and I'm doing this because this is my home. Thank you.
Cassidy?
Good morning. I'm Cassidy Santaguida, and I'm running for Wilmington City Council because I want to be part of making good things happen in our city. I know that our city government can't solve all of our problems, but we can address housing issues in our area. We can improve our transportation network and accessibility. We can attract great businesses to the area and jobs and make sure our residents have the skills and the talent to take on those jobs. We can build a safe, welcoming Wilmington for everybody who lives here, and I'm really excited to be a part of that. On City Council, we need great leaders who are experienced with growth and scaling, and I have built a career helping organizations grow and scale their teams. I actually moved to Wilmington in 2016 to help build the software engineering team at Encino. I was very successful with that, and I'm looking forward to bringing that talent and experience to Wilmington City Council. Thank you.
Luke?
Good morning. Thank you to the Wilmington Business Journal for having us. This is truly the best forum that we have, I believe. My name is Luke Waddell. Over the last 4 years, I've had the opportunity, the privilege, and the honor to serve as your city councilman. 4 years ago, I sat up on this stage and I promised to deliver strong, principled leadership that was focused on fundamentals, public safety, infrastructure, and fiscal responsibility. I've worked every day to deliver on that promise, voting against unnecessary tax increases and wasteful spending, prioritizing your hard-earned tax dollars to go towards core infrastructure, and continuing to support our police department and our fire department. Wilmington is a beautiful, growing, dynamic city. It has its challenges, certainly, but just so much opportunity, and deserves bold, principled leadership with a backbone and a proven track record to create a livable, prosperous, safe community, not just for us here now, but for generations to come. So that's why I'm running for re-election. I look forward to this discussion this morning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. So let's jump into some of those issues. If elected, what would be some of your approaches to growth and development for the city? And that would be starting with you, Chikima.
Well, that caught me off guard. When elected, and what was the question again?
What would be some of your approaches to growth and development for the city?
So some of my approaches to growth and development for the city would be to definitely work with the community directly, ensuring that their voices are heard, reviewing policies, current policies and guidelines that are in place before making any decisions, but also just looking at Wilmington as a whole. I know we have some issues with affordable housing, density, and of course, people who do not want, tall buildings and apartment complexes in their backyards. So intentionally, just again, working with our community firsthand before making any of those decisions.
Okay, thank you. And Richard?
Wilmington, again, as I said, is at a crossroads. Growth's here, and we've got to learn if we're going to manage it or it manage us. And with that growth, it comes great responsibility from the city.
Microphone's not working.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. We'll reset the clock too.
Absolutely.
You were crushing it.
He was crushing it. Y'all didn't hear it, but he was crushing it.
Sorry about that. Again, Wilmington's at the crossroads. We need to make sure that we know growth is here, we know growth is coming. We need to learn if we're going to manage it or if it will manage us. We need to make sure that we have smarter planning, that we have better infrastructure, and that we, as a city council, will be accountable to the decisions that we make. In terms of growth itself, we need to make sure that we are handling our roadways, working on minimizing congestion, working with the state as a partner, working on it in a regional level, and also making sure that any of the development processes that we need to modify in the zoning code itself to help out affordable housing, to make affordable housing something that is more prominent and not something that's just an afterthought at this point. We want to make sure that all of Wilmington continues to grow. We want to preserve the natural beauty of Wilmington that we all know and love. We want to make Wilmington a stronger place for all of us. Thank you.
JC.
The biggest changes we can make for growth and development are, of course, in the Land Development Code and our comprehensive plan, which City Council will be reviewing with all of you in the next year. My approach has been, I've been serving on the Wilmington Planning Commission, so you don't have to guess at what my approach is going to be. I've focused on making housing as affordable as possible with incentives for workforce housing. I've focused on tree preservation. We now have a $1.2 million fund that we can use for tree mitigation. And those are the two areas that really need to balance out. We can also be very creative about where we add units so that the density to help house everyone moving here doesn't have to be in apartments. We need apartments, we need everything. We also need duplexes and smaller infill projects that help take care of the folks moving here, and people have options of where to live all over the city.
All right, Kelly.
So my father worked for the Texas Department of Transportation for 25 years before he retired. So I know a little bit about working with the state and the existing infrastructure. What I'm seeing with this city is the infrastructure can't handle the influx of people, and we don't seem to be doing anything different about it. We continue to build and continue to build, and we need to stop. Like, we've got to stop the development on these arterial streets. We've got interstates that go around the city. The problem is these interstates, I talked to a developer yesterday about this, the interstate doesn't have any exits. If you guys go on 140, there's no exits. So we need to work with our state and federal partners to get exits put on, which is a perfect place for us to develop. It'll keep us from having a ton of traffic on market, no more apartments on market. If you're going to build an apartment complex, that probably needs to be downtown. The problem is, in city planning, what they call a food desert. We have a food desert downtown. There's no grocery store downtown, so people still have to get in a vehicle. So we need better planning all around.
Cassidy.
Yeah, Wilmington has grown tremendously over the last several years, which is maybe the biggest understatement up here tonight, this morning. And I think that growth has been good for us. It's brought a lot of prosperity to the area. But one of the things I want to make sure we do on City Council is make sure that the benefits of that growth are available to all of us. I'm really interested in establishing a housing trust fund, partnering with other organizations locally, so that we can focus on building more workforce and affordable housing so that the folks who live here can afford to live here. I think as we attract businesses and we grow in that way, it's really important that we make sure that the folks who live here already are positioned to take on those high-paying jobs that are coming to town. And I think as we continue to grow, we need to think about how we scale our infrastructure, the types of transportation that we offer, and make sure that we're protecting and preserving the unique natural environment that makes this such a great place to live.
Luke.
Yeah, growth is a good thing. I'll take the challenges of growth over the challenges of a dying community any single day. It certainly does have its challenges, though. I've got a proven track record to look at every single project that comes in front of us objectively with the long-term impact to the community in mind. With that, I think we can have a balanced approach. I'm currently working with the city manager on amending our tree ordinance. While I think it was put together with good intentions, the incentives don't exactly equal the outcome I think we're looking for to preserve our tree canopy. I've also authored an op-ed called Seeing Green, and it was published by the Greater Wilmington Business Journal, and I appreciate that. But it's a case for collaboration in this community for preserving parks, green spaces, and recreation areas. And that would be in partnership with the city and the county and the New Hanover County Endowment, with the city and the county identifying strategic properties, undeveloped land throughout the city, and then leveraging the endowment to pay market rate for that property. Those decisions that we make now
We're going to have to move on to the next question.
will take us to the next 50 years. Thank you.
And don't forget, you can submit your questions by sending your name and question to the phone number 910-264-8955, and it's also listed in your program. We had
Do I get to answer that question?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I didn't know. I thought my haircut.
That is 1,000% my fault. Clifford, yes, please tell us.
I agree with Luke. We're in a great position. We have a great city. People from across the country want to be here. You want to be here. I want to be here. And so the growth has to be strategic. We have to make sure that and we do this, we've done this, I've done this for the last 8 years. When people come before us, before council, we've asked, how is it going to help with affordable housing? How is it going to help with the neighborhood that you're living in? We've done this, and that's why people want to come here. I agree with Luke. It's a great place to be. And it's a great challenge to have. Now, it has its challenges. We do work with the tree canopy. As my church has been a place where we've actually placed a number of trees on the north side. So we want to have walking trails. We want to have bike trails. We want to have places that attract people. Absolutely, we want to have grocery stores in places where there are deserts. But Wilmington is a great place to live, and I'd like to have this challenge.
What is your top priorities for the city's economic development policy? And Richard will start this one.
My top priority for economic development is to continue working with the small businesses in the area. I think we need those to be the backbone of what happens in our area. I'm very excited to have had all the technology growth that has come to our town over the last 10 years. It has been wonderful for us, but we also need to make sure we're picking up the trade schools and UNCW and making sure that we're preparing our students for them to come into the next generation and lead for us. We need to make sure that that's bringing the employers on, and that the curricula that's in the students' repertoire is something that is going to be beneficial for folks in our area, to make sure that any of the economic development that we are bringing forward through our partners in the area, we want to make sure that we have folks here that can stay here, work here, and not move out of town for additional higher paying jobs. Thank you.
JC.
We have had some incredible economic development thanks to the organizations that the city already supports. And more support of those is definitely going to be critical as we move forward. One of the things I noticed in the data is that all the jobs that come here, about 2/3 of them are filled with people who move here. I want the people who already live here to be competitive for those jobs too. So training in whatever industries are coming and making sure that they have equal opportunity to apply for and get some of those jobs. So the other thing is we have a city budget, and we need to look for ways to be more investment-minded in our own community, focus on local businesses. We have goals for minority and women-owned businesses, but let's focus on getting some goals for keeping the prosperity here and hiring more local businesses, the things the city has control over. And thanks to Gerard Newkirk and all his work, we can get into the weeds of that.
Kelly?
Yeah, so I think getting the youth involved so the next generation of workforce is incredibly important. I do like what you said about Cape Fear Community College having the trade skills. Well, cybersecurity is a trade skill as well. What I do is almost more advanced than college. College can't keep up with technology. It's going quick. I think we need to get technology programs for our youth in the city. And as far as bringing in small businesses, I've thought about this. I think that we need to incentivize healthcare to come into our city. I think we've got an issue with healthcare being overloaded. I think if we can get doctors to come into our city, give them some sort of stipend, some sort of program where people do want to move to Wilmington if they're a doctor. They don't want to stay in Raleigh. I think that would be positive economic impact, and that'll solve 2 birds with 1 stone, I think.
Cassidy?
There's really 2 things that I think about with economic development for us. The first is incentivizing and attracting businesses that are going to bring high-paying jobs to the area, as well as protecting our environment, not having a negative impact on our coastal environment here. The second thing that I think a lot about is making sure that the people who live in Wilmington have the skills and the talent that they need to take on those high-paying jobs that come to town. When I was at the University of Texas, I managed a workforce development program for several years, and I helped hundreds of people start a new career in software development. I know how these programs work. I know how to be successful. And I believe in the talent that we have here in the city. And I think that we have the means to be able to grow that and incentivize the skill sets that we need so that the folks who live here can take on those high-paying jobs that we're attracting to town.
Luke?
Yeah, I mean, 2 words, lean in. More than 2 words, but lean in. I told Natalie before I got up here that I was going to channel my inner Natalie. So we got to lean into the Chamber of Commerce, the Wilmington Business Development, who do an incredible job of singing from the rooftops this community and how we're open for business. But we got to lean in also to the success stories that we have that are homegrown right here. You know, your Live Oak Banks, your Encinos, and all the spinoffs that have come from that. Those are incredible stories that we can tell to the college students who are here and opportunities that they can have to move straight into those high-paying industries. And lastly, I would just say that the city of Wilmington, the best thing we can do is be a conduit for success, to be a good place to do business, to make it a beautiful, thriving, safe city where people want to come work and they want to stay here and work.
Thank you. And Clifford?
Thank you for calling on me.
I apologize again.
No, I'm messing with you, I
All right.
promise you. I understand. I understand. For economic development, I think there are 2 things I think about. Number one, first of all, we've got to make sure that we support the businesses that are already here. 70% of the businesses that are here are small businesses. We want to make sure that they have what they need in order that they might be successful in developing their business and in growing their businesses. Then secondly, I think we have to make sure that we build a city that attracts also those businesses outside of here. Businesses, so things like infrastructure, making sure that our roads are nice, the public safety, all those items that are other things that attract people to Wilmington. And those are the things that will make people or allow people to stay here in Wilmington. We don't want them just to come and then be gone. We want them to come and stay and find this to be a thriving place, a place where everybody can grow and develop their businesses.
Kima?
Yes, so, I do this work every day. I get to do this work, and I'm proud of it. But economic development, I think of the small businesses that currently exist, the small businesses that Live Oak has empowered on a day-to-day basis through Channel. And what we do is allowing the small business owners to be able to come in and get free resources so that they are educated. They can become, I think my mic is acting up. Thank you.
Yay, I got some more time. All right, so I was speaking about the initiative that is powered by Live Oak. It's called Channel. I get to do this work every day by empowering small business owners to stop in to receive free resources such as marketing and accounting, credit help, all of those things, one-on-one coaching, but not only myself, I have partners that I do this with the SBDTC, the CIE, Genesis Block, the YWCA. We do this work along with the community college, new ILM, because we love our small business owners. And again, as I stated earlier in my statements, that they are the backbone here in the Wilmington community. When we support our own small business owners, money stays right here in our community.
Our next question comes from the audience. What is the city's plan to address the rapid increase in homeless population, and how would you work to provide both immediate support and long-term solutions? And this one goes to JC first.
Thank you for the question. The city took some great strides on Tuesday to move forward some important initiatives that will help with chronically homeless folks and getting them the services that they need, and in addition to the law enforcement and getting them the services they need to address some of the ongoing issues. What I'm really focused on is not the chronically homeless so much as the majority of folks who are unhoused. This is their first time being unhoused. 79%, 86% the last couple years. This was their first time. They had housing last year, and it was their first time in being unhoused. And our services that we have in town will help them. They're usually on the street less than 3 months, get them back into housing and get them to like 5%, I think it is, don't come back. So it's a really great way to just, they pop down, they get some help they need, they go on, and then they can continue to be consumers for our local businesses.
Okay, we're going to have to move on,
workers.
JC.
Thanks.
Kelly?
Yeah, so I do live downtown, so I'm pretty close to this issue. I do like what we did yesterday. I agree with that. In Austin, Texas, we have the Austin Community Alliance. What they do is they put someone out there, not a law enforcement officer. They'll do someone that works in the community to be the liaison between the unhoused and the police force. It's not fair to say that all unhoused are the same. You go out and you figure out, well, what's the issue? Are you down on your luck? Do you need mental health resources? Do you need drug resources? And they find out exactly what that person needs, and then they put them in the appropriate spot. My problem right now that I'm kind of curious about is I've got a guy that lives beneath my building, and he's been there for 4 months. Nice guy, doesn't bother anybody, wears a size 13 shoe. I bought him some shoes. Recently, somebody got him some headphones, so he sings at the top of his lungs for 4 hours a day. If you guys want to know his musical taste after this, I'll let you know. But for the most part, why isn't this guy getting the help he needs? Why is he there? We have to do better at that, and we can all agree.
Cassidy?
You know, I'm really excited about what the city talked about on Tuesday in terms of finding a way to place social workers downtown to partner with law enforcement officers to help people experiencing homelessness find the services that they need and the path back to a stable housing situation. I think that is a great short-term, immediate thing that the city can address. I'm really excited to see that. I'm also really excited to see that the city is looking at how we can immediately expand emergency shelter offerings, because I've spent a lot of time with service providers over the last several weeks, and they're at capacity. They really just don't have space. And so I think expanding those emergency shelter offerings, both in day centers and overnight, I think it's a great next step. And long term, I really believe that we need to invest in permanent supportive housing and services that help people all the way on their path back to stable and safe housing so that they can contribute to the community that's done so much for them as well. So thanks.
Luke?
Yeah, I believe the key to addressing this issue is striking a balance between compassion and accountability. We have a truly compassionate community with, I believe, 27 providers in this city who are ready, willing, and able to address the needs of people who need it and want it. But at that same time, we have to provide ordinances and enforcement that provide accountability. And that's exactly why I authored the public camping ordinance that was collaboratively discussed over about a month's period of time and amended and ultimately adopted in a bipartisan manner. That's the kind of collaboration that will keep this community safe, accessible, and clean for everyone. That's my goal.
Clifford?
Thank you. I've been working with the unhoused. As I mentioned, I've been pastoring for 46 years. And what we've had the opportunity to do on city council, as Councilman Lucas just suggested, said, we've had the opportunity to put this one ordinance in place. Now, understand that this ordinance is not the catch-all. This ordinance is perhaps the first step toward pulling in those 27 different agencies, partnering with them so that we can find out what they're doing, what are their limits, what do they need. We've also had the opportunity to look at a program out of Raleigh called Acorn, which actually takes the social worker and matches him with the police. But we don't want to criminalize folks. We don't want them to see the police coming. We'd rather have that social worker to help that unhoused individual find what they need, having the resources that they give. We have to provide more resources for them. Wilmington is a great place. People come from all over who are unhoused because we have the services.
Okay, and Shakima, Richard, if you don't mind handing it.
So I really do appreciate all of the work that City Council did on Tuesday night. I love the fact that we are not going to criminalize homelessness. I do think that we need to take some time and really search not only ourselves but our community for what we deem that we have all of the resources available. Those resources, those nonprofit organizations, and anyone else, it takes all of us to address this problem. This is not a me problem. It's not just the city council. It's all of us who needs to address the problem of the unhoused. You spoke about the gentleman that lives under your, I guess, near your apartment or home. But how are we addressing that gentleman? We don't know that this gentleman exists until something is said. So I do think that we need to survey a little bit more
Okay.
about where our
Thank you,
unhoused
Chikima.
are. Thank you.
Do you mind passing the mic back to Richard?
I agree with all of my candidates up here. I think that Wilmington is a compassionate city, and I think that we do need compassion on this large issue that has come about. The City Council did a great step forward on Tuesday evening with the ordinance that was passed as amended, and I think that it's not the law enforcement's responsibility to provide the social work and the other means. They need to be there to help protect, but they need those social workers and maybe even the mental health workers out to help any of the homeless population to get them back into a situation where they go from unhoused to hopefully back to being housed. Our partners here in town, the Good Shepherd does a wonderful, wonderful job, and they have a tremendous amount of emergency beds, but that's not all of it. They are helping a portion, and we all have to continue to help the remaining portions in the city limits. The big thing is, it takes us all,
Okay.
I think, as Councilman.
Thank you, Richard. To end our segment with the city council candidates, we're going to leave everyone with an idea that they have. So your final question is going to be, what is a program or idea you've seen in another city or region that you've admired and think that we should do here? And to start us off is going to be Kelly.
Well, I admire the amount of money the police force makes in Leland. Our police force makes $10,000 less per year than they do. We can't keep we can't keep policemen here. We have, according to the standards, we're supposed to have 330 police officers. Currently, we're budgeted for 238. That means we have the money to pay 238 police officers. We only have 209 because they don't want to work here because we don't pay them enough. I would say what we need to do on copying the small cities around us is be competitive in our salary for the police force. $10,000 a year less is unacceptable. This is a destination city. We should be the new Charleston. We should hold our head high and pay the police force what they want. Thank you.
Cassidy.
I've been really inspired by the cities who've been able to establish local housing trust funds. For example, Charlotte has a very successful housing trust fund. And this is really a fund that exists in partnership, public and private partnership, that helps provide financing for affordable and workforce housing to make those projects work for developers and for residents. I think establishing a local housing trust fund here is a great way for us to address the housing affordability issues that we're facing in the city. And I think that we are unique in our community that we have funding organizations that can help us establish that without having to raise our tax rate. And I would love to be on city council so I can work on that. So, thank you.
Luke?
Yeah, I touched on mine earlier, and it's not something that I've actually seen in other cities, but it's the op-ed that I wrote, Seeing Green, and how we can leverage our relationships with New Hanover County Endowment and the County of New Hanover and other partners to identify strategic properties throughout the city and the county that are undeveloped, that we can acquire at market rate and retain them as parks, green space, activated, unactivated, so that we are truly building the city that we want to see over the next 50 years while the growth happens all around it. This is a tremendous opportunity that we have. I've had discussions at length with members of the New Hanover County Endowment and members of the New Hanover County Commission. Everybody's rowing in the same direction on this and really excited to make it happen. So we've identified a couple properties and hope to roll out a success story here in the near future.
Clifford?
What I'd like to see happen here in Wilmington reminds me of what I did last night. I had the opportunity to revisit to 9/11. Okay? And the thing that I shared with my family was that what I loved most after 9/11 was how we pulled together as a nation, how we pulled together as people, how we kept each other's back, and we watched each other's back, and we made sure that we were taking care of our neighbors. And so what I want for this city is for us to love each other more, And this is a nonpartisan election, right? So it means you elect the best-looking guy, on the stage. But really, I want us to go back. You remember how it was right after 9/11? And how we literally took care of each other? That's what I want from our city. That's what I want from us, is that we learn to take care of our neighbors.
Thank you. Chikima?
I'm going to go back to what Cassidy and Luke alluded to with the housing piece. I'd love to see that take place. Live Oak did an initiative where they collaborated with Cape Fear Collective and some housing, and that also is similar to what you guys are talking about. I'd love to see that because it allows our small business owners to live where they have set up shop and work. And I would also love to see where, when we're allowing these larger apartment complexes to come into our city and being developed, that not only do we do a 10% increase, for 10% for affordable housing, but we can also ask for maybe a 20 or 25%. And I think that would put a bit of a dent in our affordable housing crisis.
Richard?
Thank you. Wilmington is unique. Wilmington is beautiful, and we all love this town. Asking about what I would do compared to a different city, I don't want us compared to a different city. I want us to be Wilmington and be who we are and protect our natural beauty, because Wilmington is a special place. That's why every one of us moved here, and the ones that grew up here know it inherently. So I want to make sure we keep that. That's going to be kept through smarter planning, improving our infrastructure, having accountability for all the things that we're doing as a city council and as a citizen body as well. We need to make sure that we are looking over each other's shoulders and keeping everybody safe. Our police department, our fire department, our EMS, we need to make sure they have the respect that they need and also the resources that they need. Long and short, Wilmington is a great place, and that's what I want to keep for the next 20, 30 years. Thank you.
And JC?
Oh, I don't need it. Do it. I've been inspired by some of the work I've seen, the projects I've seen serving on the state-level housing trust fund. I was appointed there by the General Assembly in 2018. I helped allocate millions of public dollars that leverage private investment to make big impact in different communities all over the state. And I'm so glad that having a trust fund here in housing trust fund here in Wilmington is finally gaining some traction. I feel like we can get that done. Everybody wants to talk about the endowment. Well, the endowment is has some limitations about loaning money and working with for-profit developers. But a fund that we put together, we make our own rules, and we can make the money go further, identify the unique needs of our community, and make housing happen and that works for everybody, and fill your entry-level positions because people can afford to live here now.
Can we get a round of applause for our candidates this year?